Hi, everybody. It's been a minute, Hyra family, since I've been over here. I still don't know what I'm using this space for, but I got a feeling that I'm about to. I'm just gonna sit and breathe for a second. I want to look at Semyaza, and I want to pull cards around Semyaza. I think I'm struggling question mark a little bit with that energy because I very much so want just like a traditional 9 to 5, But is that a lot of resistance to some other stuff? Who knows? I don't know where that came from, but I needed it. Okay. So I'm going to have my favorite virtual assistant help me to select 3 decks. But first, I will put this back up here. These go over here. This goes here. This comes down. So I need to count through how I'm going to count these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I have 22 decks out right now. Hey Siri, choose a random number between 1 and 22.
A random number between 1 and 22 is 15.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It'll be this deck. The Threads of Fate Ascendant Edition? Yeah, the Ascendant Edition of the Threads of Fate Tarot. The Weaver Tarot. Hey Siri, choose a random number between 1 and 21.
A random number between 1 and 21 is 20.
How did I do that? 16, 17, 18, 19, 22. What number was it? I think it was 20. So it's these? I'm pretty sure it's these. The Mirror Truth Lenormand cards. Because I did 20, 21, 22. Yeah. Hey Siri, choose a random number between 1 and 20.
A random number between 1 and 20 is 20.
And the Whispers of Lord Ganesha. Ooh, this is a fairly nice balance. So I'll be using the Whispers of Lord Ganesha, the Mirror Truth Lenormand, and the Threads of Fate Oracle cards. Right there. Okay. Excuse me. And I'll read Semyaza. You're not Semyaza. Oh, I see this golden card. Nope. Let's see if I can spread them out a little and find them. No, it's not this one. Oh, it's not. I should be able to tell from the colors. Is this the... I'm pretty sure this isn't the one I want, though. Yeah, no, not that one. I don't even remember what the other one looks like. I remember what it looks like, but I don't remember the background. Yeah, it is that one. Okay. I remember it had a golden background. All right, all right. Excuse me. Mm. So this Semyaza card is, as the angel sang, a single speck of something passed through the light and cast a tiny shadow down on the earth. Beneath the stars, that shadow looked back at the heavens and saw himself for the first time. He gave himself his own name and turned his back on the existence he'd been granted by the universe. One by one, Semyaza called out for his brethren, and they bowed to meet him. He was the giver of names, Lord and King. There was to be none before him and none after. And I feel like that part where like he gave himself his own name and turned his back on the existence he'd been granted by the universe. That's that like, forsaking all of your earthly whatever and doing, whatever. Like Siddhartha Gautama, like one of the first Buddhists. Like he was a prince and stuff, and he gave all of that up to be, go out and to seek enlightenment. And it's like, man, it's just like this like low key just like trigger that is just down there. And I'm accepting it, but it has made me like really tired. I've been recuperating, preparing mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, not really, for this moment. The key, the coffin, and the bear with the letter is the bottom of the deck. Very similar colors between, yeah. It's like the key bleeds into the coffin into the bear. The key, this is something that has been long dormant awakening. The key to the coffin unleashes something, and it's the bear. With it being the bear, though, it almost feels like there's going to be a period of it getting like acclimated or acclimatizing to today. Maybe it hasn't been here for a while, and so it's going to go through a period of kind of sort of like seeing where it fits in today, how it fits in, how and where it applies, and things like that. So there's a face down card that I'm not going to look at, and the child. That was the first pair of Lenormands that came out. And then the scythe and the tree flipped over in the deck. Scythe is heavy energy lately. It's in the hand of Lord Ganesh and the Lord of Wands. It was in the hand of Kali and the Empress earlier, and now it popped out again. It also came out yesterday on the Legacy channel in the sense of like it came out with the birds. And it was this energy that was like before something is fully prepared, it is reaped. Because it felt like it was for good reason, honestly. Right? Like let's say that there's a certain level of spiritual authority that is possible for us to have. But because we've been so self-centered and selfish and concerned with earthly pursuits, before we come into the fullness of that power, it is sort of like stopped or muted or taken from us. Because there's been too much ego in this space. Too much self-centered focusedness. Too much I. Not an us or we. But like a lowercase I, not necessarily an uppercase I. That's funny. Bottom of the deck is steadfastness. I will be steadfast, unmovable, always abiding in you. Ganesha is riding an elephant, but he's looking in an opposite direction. This is also, interestingly enough, this is Kali energy for me. Also, Durga. There are many hands. Some of them hold weapons, some of them hold lotuses, right? Durga was also on her mount, though. Hers was the tiger or the lion. His is the elephant. Also, there's that halo thing on the back of his head that's like shining. The reason why I laughed a little bit is because the card of enlightenment came out, and that's what I was talking about when Siddhartha like left all of his princely things to seek enlightenment and to become enlightened. So enlightenment, beginnings, promise of the future, and drive all came out. And in drive, there's the mouse drawn chariot. There's also a mouse and promise of the future, and he has multiple hands, and that thing is behind his head again. We can see it. He looks intense. Does he always have multiple hands? Am I just not noticing that today? He looks so intense in the Enlightenment card. Oh, we got four of these. We got four Lenormands. Steadfastness at the bottom. Excuse me. And then last but not least is the Threads of Fate Tarot. Believer Tarot. Oh, already. So it was things that were being reaped almost prematurely. Here it's the tree with the scythe. This is waiting until it's fully matured. So that's already a difference from yesterday. There's also a little bit of a hermit energy with this child. There we go. Because of the little lamppost right there. This little one. It feels like the inner child is journeying to a city. Because those the street lights on the other side imply civilization. This little lamppost right here implies a lot more of that hermit energy. We see the birds in the background. It feels like there's also going to be like a journey over there after she lands on the other side. So there's a card that's face down. We'll see. So I guess my light just isn't going to come back on. Come on. Thank you. Well, luckily it's daytime out right now, so I don't really need that to stay on. Was that the Hierophant? Was face up. The Lovers? Is anything else face up? Everything was face down. And then I was like, hold up, wait. Was that a face up card? The Ruler of Wands. Guess I'm taking him. The Four of Coins. Bottom of the deck is the Five of Swords. Five swords pierce the lungs, three swords pierce the heart. And there are thorns around the heart. But it feels like the thorns around the heart are actually keeping it together in a way that is very painful. I don't really want these. I'm not going to take these. They'll come back out if they're supposed to. I feel like this may be part of the old story. So the Hierophant, the Lovers, the Ruler of Wands, and this Four of Pentacles. This is an energy where we made choices and decisions based off of some Hierophant system that in reality separated us from the truth of our power and led to separation from the self. But it feels like we were comfortable in the control that it gave us and the control that it offered. It's like it offered us some sort of stability through its control. And we liked it. I wish if y'all could see how I'm struggling with the shuffling. Ooh, there we go. I'm trying to channel Reem. Help me shuffle this deck. There we go. It's kind of working a little better. I'm starting to sweat. Sweat, illusion, sense to dance. The Fool. Which fits more of this energy. We got Enlightenment, the Fool. The Eight of Wands, the Nine of Wands. And one more. There we go. Oh, a mystery card. I like a little bit of mystery. Bottom of the deck is the Seeker of Coins. Wisdom is the key to unlocking everything that we want to experience on Earth in this new reality. We need to have wisdom in that. What is that? And all that ye do it with wisdom, maybe? Or in all that ye seek. Let's look it up. Why not? I got the time. I'm levitating. In all that you do. Colossians 3:17, maybe. Colossians 3:23. Colossians 3:23 to 24. So something about Colossians 3. Colossians 3:17, and whatever you do, whether in word or deed, do it all in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God the Father through him. And whatever you do or say, do it as a representative of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks through him to God the Father. And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God and the Father by him. Okay. And the other one, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters. Work willingly. This is Colossians 3:23. And whatever you do, do it heartily, as to the Lord and not to men. Okay. Oh, there's 4 cards. So we got 4 cards in each and 1 Semyaza. I'm going to read these first. It's the 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups, that Leviathan energy. Not surprised. So this speaks of alignment. There's internal alignment, external alignment, and this is sort of the self, the ego between them. The internal, the external, the id, and the superego. There's a key on this 9 of Wands. It's interesting because I'm pretty sure with the 5 of Wands card in this deck, it's in the shape of a pentagram instead of it being a pentacle. It's a pentacle on the 9 of Wands. And as far as I know, the difference is with the pentagram, it puts basically the earth over spirit. It puts the elements of water, fire, air, and earth over that element of spirit. But with the pentacle, it puts spirit at the top above the other 4 elements. And then we have that, what's the name? Mandorla from the 4 of Wands here as well. This is another 459. And this 8 of Wands card, it's like there are 4 wands that are coming from the throat and 4 wands that are coming from the third eye. And it's like a proper prioritization that gives us that key. There's also an 8, 9, 10. 8 of Wands, 9 of Wands, 10 of Cups. And we see that third eye again. But this time around that third eye, it's like it's the crown of the Fool. But it's more mature in this 8 of Wands. And again, it's that energy that was like the bear and the coffin, the key, the bear and the coffin. Oh, here's the key. But it's like there's something that we need to be open enough to discover. The lady. the lady and the child. And they're the birds again. The boat is on the other side. And it looks like it's anchored. Looks like the boat is anchored right there. And the lady is here with the birds. This is the ace of spades. The ace of spades and the jack of spades. It feels like this lady is who the child will become. This reminds me of it's an anime. There are these children who are dying. And to save them from dying, they go and they make contracts with spirits. And those spirits then sort of like live in their bodies, and it's the presence of the spirit that heals them from whatever. But there's one child who's like, there's this great rumbling and everything is shaking, and it's like this whole theatrical fanfare when the spirit that chooses her comes, and the spirit that comes to her looks like her. This is also in another anime. There's this character, and then there's this other. It's the same thing. Like it's these characters who contract heroes throughout time. The different spirits and those spirits sort of become the embodiments of those. And one of the heroes is a future version of one of the characters. And you find that out after you watch, you're like, oh my gosh, they're the same person. What? And somebody said that somewhere lately. Something very similar because it reminded me of that. I was like, oh, that's like Fate's Day when Archer is dude. Now, the future him had cursed his fate for some reason. There was something that he did that he had wished he didn't. And so that's another reason why he was upset with his past self. And that's funny. Uh, that's interesting because of a dream I had last night. But then his past self, which is our current self, because we are watching as his present, he's like, well, I'm going to do something different. And it's literally those scriptures. And all that you do it in service of the Lord. You don't do it for men. You don't do it for man. You do it for the Most High. You do it for a greater sort of reason, for a greater purpose. And that's sort of like where that disparity formed between them. And of course, the one from the future is going to be like, well, if you live life long enough, you're going to become me. But we don't have to make that choice. We can become someone different. And that can be why they're sort of looking in opposite directions. I don't know why they're looking in opposite directions. Because maybe the child is sitting there waiting for someone to rescue them. And the lady now knows that, she had to do it on her own. Maybe the child will stand there waiting. Because again, we see the boat sort of anchored on the other side. It's tied up. It ain't. I don't know if it's necessarily going to be able to make it all the way over here, right? And so it's almost like eventually she'll get tired of waiting and she's just going to go. And that's the 16 that separates 23 and 29. It's that tower. It's that realization like no one else is coming for me. I've got to, like the cheetah girl said, I'd rather rescue myself because I'm not trying to be a Cinderella sitting in a dark old dusty cellar waiting for somebody to come and set me free. And that's, again, we can kind of sort of see that energy here. The third eye is focused on the star in the heavens, not the star on the earth. Semyaza. Oh my gosh, is this literally Semyaza? What did it say? Beneath the stars, that shadow looked back at the heavens and saw himself for the first time. He gave himself his own name and turned his back on the existence he'd been granted by the universe. It's looking at the heavens and it's remembering. It's looking at the heavens and recalling. Maybe this is like a crown that he gets. And it's something that like he grows into. Because again, that was like the energy of maturing when they like get bigger and they start to curl or whatever. But it's like you have to find out how that energy plays out down here. There's some kind of weird portal thingy behind this tree that I've never seen before. So you see this like this, it's shooting out and then it expands outward. Look, it's looking like very sort of like black hole or wormhole. Like there's this wormhole behind the tree. And I guess that would be like a Idrisil type energy, right? Because there are like portals to the nine realms throughout the length of that tree. And it's interesting that the roots are in the top and they're going downward. This is also the energy of that nocturne, two of pentacles, two of orbs, and the world card and the Spencers that came out earlier. Also, death held an hourglass, and it's like the top of the world card had the Merkaba, but all of the sand was in the bottom of the hourglass for death. I just think it's interesting that the roots are in the top and they're growing downward. I mean, roots always grow downward, but wouldn't the roots be in the bottom? So this is a 12th energy. If you don't know what 12th is, Rune, Raker, 2, rustling around. Check it out. I love Russ and everything that he does. I have so much appreciation. But it's 12th energy because it's like the bottom is facing the top and the top is facing the bottom, right? It should be like this, where the roots go down and the plant comes up. This is also the energy of the Six of Cups in the Water Known Tarot. There's also something here. This is the Seven of Hearts. That line, the universe will never be the same, just popped into my head. The universe will never be the same. I don't know what that song is. That's like the only line from the song that I know. It feels like it's backwards. It looks backwards, but it feels like it isn't. I don't know what the scythe is here for, though. It feels like this reveals a greater cycle. or a greater cycle is revealed, right? It feels like with the scythe, we'd be cutting something, we'd be creating an ending, we'd be reaping, we'd be harvesting. But with the tree, it's like it's still growing. Because we didn't cut it at the roots. The roots are preserved. It was too shallow, it was too surface level. So now let's read these Whispers of Lord Ganesha cards. Let's put it all together. We're going to start with number 27, which is Enlightenment. Here's 25, Empowerment. 26, Insight. Connect to your true source to manifest your desires. The color purple is associated with being art, creativity, and spirituality. It is considered a color of honor, courage, and is sometimes associated with royalty. Ganesha is sharing the purple hue to assist you with your spiritual journey inside yourself. By connecting with him in this energy, you will be redirected back to your true enlightened nature. Your crown chakra is the purple chakra that is connected to your well being in mind, body, and spirit in this life and beyond. All energy blocks keep you from connecting to your true source. Set a clear goal of how you would like to connect with your higher self. You may choose to be a healer or to practice a specific modality such as Reiki. You may simply choose to meditate. Everyone has psychic ability and a connection to the divine. Open yourself up consciously to opportunities that will help you reach your goal. To really enjoy living life on earth, the more you can do to release the limiting programs and emotional patterns, the more quickly and easily you will manifest your desires. You can create your life as you intended. Choose to live life fully and achieve real enlightenment, where all things are possible. So, yeah, there's that. That's bringing us into this Ten of Cups, cracking the wholeness, the truth of who we are, what we are, energy. Number one is beginnings, which is another shout out to that fool. I don't know if I've ever even seen the beginnings card besides when I opened the deck the first time. At the start of every endeavor, you will find Ganesha. This is an indication of new energy on the horizon that brings open hearted opportunities. Pay attention to where you are going. A new beginning can sometimes have a deeper spiritual significance, encouraging a different consideration or a fresh approach to how you connect with your inner guidance. A fresh approach to how you connect with your inner guidance. With awareness comes understanding. One benefit of this new start may be the opportunity to stay true to your own path and guidance. Release the need to try to bring others into your vision. Trust yourself and be willing to do the work needed at this time. Your inspiration is positive. Creativity, finances, and love are flowing just before you. Ask Ganesha to assist you with new energy and opportunities ahead of you. And it's interesting because this weekend, with the summer solstice being today, it talks about how Yang, the male positive active element, is at its strongest during the summer solstice. And this says that your inspiration is positive. So, Promise of the Future, number 8. And I saw this as I was flipping back. I was like, 8, why is that number popping out to me? I had already forgotten it's right here. Rest assured, something new is on the horizon. New beginnings, rest assured, something new is on the horizon. All indications are favoring a time of new awareness. Seek new outlets for your creative expression. This heralds the beginning of a new phase in your life. Ganesha is asking that you take time to reflect on your desires and dreams. It is time that you begin down the road of a new creative endeavor. Ask Ganesha to help you uncover the desires of your subconscious mind and then follow any creative nudges you feel. You may experience them as innovative sparks that come to you unexpectedly. This momentum will start you down a path that may involve a view of the world. Reflect on your past endeavors. Take time to acknowledge and understand your lessons and your blessings. Feel gratitude for the path that has led you to this point in time. You are receiving the gift of freedom to choose what you will pursue. There may also be an ending taking place. All of life has its cycles. Through experiences and choices, you learn and grow. You are steadily progressing through the many phases of your life. With each ending comes the promise of a new dawn. And then drive, number 14. That's a lot of new energy. Confidence as well as unity of purpose and control are desirable. Ganesha urges you to think about getting back to the basics. It is a great time to lighten your load or simplify your life. You may have had a tendency to overextend yourself or overcommit to social activities. Cut back on your schedule so you can zero in on something that you are called to do. This card indicates new motivation or inspiration. If you have been feeling stuck in a situation or in finding a solution, rest assured the energy is going to start moving again. You do not have to choose to go alone on your path. Make sure that if you do bring others with you, that they have the same goals and objectives in mind. Pay attention not to linger in relationships or friendships that are going nowhere or settle just because you feel obligated. This is not a time to be complacent. If you want to create changes in your work, explore what your options might be. There might be an increase in finances, but this is not a time to be spending money. Bide your time and prepare for what is coming. This might also indicate that a trip or extended travel is on the horizon. I just saw the chariot, Sagittarius, Centaur, sorry, the chariot Centaur. He's holding the whip here. And there's a little whip here in beginnings. But in beginnings, we don't see the chariot. He's not holding the whip. A mouse is. That little mouse is holding the whip. What? The little mouse is wrangling the bigger mice to get Ganesha where he's going. That little mouse is the mouse from Promise of the Future. What's that one? Promise of the Future is moving things forward, given the whip that came from beginnings. So all of these are working together for ultimately for a spiritual purpose. It was like in all that you do, do it in the name of the Lord and not for men. So there is a new energy, there is a new beginning. It's a more self-led energy, right? That's how the child becomes the lady. The child has to stop waiting and be about its way. And there are going to be some old energies that don't serve us that need to go. It's like that portal behind the tree is a vacuum, but the tree is too big to be sort of like sucked out. So what's going to happen is this scythe is going to come through and cut the tree really quick. So all of that can be sucked out. Then it'll be able to sort of fly into the vacuum and all this long-standing, well-established energy that doesn't serve us will be removed. But it's that energy of like nature abhors a vacuum. So as soon as that's removed, and it's like something else is going to rush in and take its place. Hopefully that thing is you. But with this full card, it is going to take a moment of consideration. And so the existence that we've been granted by the universe is maybe our place in the world that we're going to soon find our way able to escape or ascend out of. So maybe it isn't as bad as I am. Not fearing for it to be, but Ooh, 1 second. Yeah. It may not necessarily involve what I fear it may. I don't even know if I have any real thoughts and feelings. It's just like it's certain things that I don't want to have to deal with. I'm like, I mean, if I have to, I will, but I don't want to. But I need to let it go. Let it go. I mean, honestly, what this is probably saying is for all that I want, I'm not going to find it in the old energy either. Even if I wanted that nice, cozy cubicle life, not going to find that in an old energy. Because I already, it's like, well, I don't want to work for a company that's like seedy or shady or is out there doing not great things. And so, there's a lot of companies that have lots of, not the best practices. And so the energy is still going to have to change if I want that life. And so if I refuse or pull out of what I'm being led and guided to do, then another energy that's been coming out a lot lately is when we do things that we think will benefit us, but they actually work against us. So it would work against what I want for my future if I don't do what I know I need to do in the today. And it's not going to be as easy as I would hope it is because, I don't necessarily like hard work. If it can be easy and convenient, I'll take it. But I guess life ain't meant to be like that. So I will do what I must, as I hope that you all do what you must. And with that, I bid thee adieu.